By now, you probably know that Namor's ult deals 500 damage in the middle of his ultimate, enough to kill a squishy, and 200 damage in the outer circle, enough to hit them for a lot. But what you probably don't know is by combining a Luna ultimate damage boost, by the time the whale hits, adds another 40% damage, bumping that inner rim damage up to 700, and most importantly, the outer rim to 280. This means that any squishy within the outer circle will get one shot, and since they are earthbound, it is near impossible to escape, turning them into an easy kill. But that's not all. Marvel Rivals have so many cool heroes and synergies, and while most people know about the team-ups, there are still so many insanely strong ability combinations that not many outside of the top 500, and even then, actually know about or actively use. And some of these easily make a huge difference in your performance in-game. And as I always say, knowing is half the battle. Which is why today I have a huge announcement to make. If you're like most ranked players, then you probably know how it feels to be stuck in that one rank that you just can't get out of. You might be getting sick of solo queuing with bad players that keep throwing your games, and maybe you want to get out of the elo hell, so to speak, and you're looking for a place to learn from somebody who is a top 500 player with years and years of competitive experience alongside other mature players who also want to improve alongside you. Welcome to the Otter Dojo, my private coaching community where you can learn Marvel Rivals from me with group classes, events, training sessions, and so much more. And the best part is that you can do it alongside other players just like you. Now, what's really exciting is that because the Otter Dojo is completely brand new, I'm offering a lifetime discount to the first 100 members. Now, once these spots are filled, the membership price is set to go up. So if you're looking for a place to learn and to improve and climb the ranks without spending hundreds of dollars on coaching sessions, click the first link in the description or the pinned comment and I'll see you guys inside. Anyways, heading back to the combos and synergies, something that might seem obvious at first, but after my grind of solo queuing to Celestial as Black Widow apparently isn't, is that while Black Widow can't one-shot any heroes by default, by adding a little bit of damage boost, this will put her over the edge to one-shot most squishies in the game. A typical headshot deals 240 damage, but if boosted by something as simple as Mantis's damage boost or Storm using her damage boost from the passive, then the damage will exceed 250, meaning you can one-shot most squishies as long as they don't have 275 health or above. Larger damage boosts from ultimates such as Luna Snows or Rocket Raccoons, even with its nerf in Season 2, will put you over the 275 damage breakpoint and let you one-shot any squishies that you want. And what's so great about this combo is that if you're on a flank, then you can easily rattle off one free shot on any enemy parity target before they realize you are there and start dodging or getting behind cover. But not only that, but you can also take down the same targets with 2 body shots instead of 1 headshot and body shot, or the normal 3 body shots, which is a lot more convenient than trying to hit those pesky headshots, especially if you have a very small window to actually get a shot in. Another great use of damage boosts will be Venom's one-shot combo. If Venom dives in on an enemy support, uses a secondary fire, pops his ultimate, and then uses it right before that secondary fire hits, then he can easily deal somewhere in the range of 200 to 300 damage, if not more, depending on the timing. But if you combine this with any other damage boost, be it Luna Snows, Mantises, Rockets, you name it, then that damage is significantly higher. Even if your targets end up getting healed, or if you messed up a part of your combo, then hitting that one shot will still be guaranteed. Hell, with Luna Snow's 40% damage boost, Venom's ultimate is almost enough to one-shot the squishies on their own. Another great synergy, or I guess ultimate combination, if you want to call it that, is something that we started to see pop up in professional play and at the very highest tiers of top 500 recently. Winter Solar's ultimate is pretty good and all, but can easily be countered by a support ultimate. In fact, most aggressive ultimates can usually be countered by a defensive one. What the pros have realized is that if you combine 2 aggressive ultimates, especially ones with heavy crowd control, such as the Groot ultimate or Thing ultimate, even if the enemy team does pop their defensive ultimates, such as a Luna Snow or Invisible Woman's or Mantis's, then by adding a Winter Soldier ultimate into the mix, this lets you and your team burst through the damage on the static targets that much more easily, and even give Winter Soldier an increasing amount of resets and burst damage as you keep cleaning up those free kills. What matters here is ensuring that you and your team is focusing the same target, which is the one that's marked by the ultimate, or the combination kind of doesn't really work. Using Winter Soldier's ultimate through enemy support support ultimates, even Luna's, can even be beneficial sometimes if you have one-shot heroes on your team, such as Black Widow, Hawkeye, or Magneto. With his ultimate up, marked enemies will instantly die if their health drops under 20%, which is enough for even weaker one-shots, such as Black Widow, without any additional damage boost to one-shot with a headshot. Again, if Winter Soldier has an ult on someone, even in the middle of a defensive ultimate, if they are squishy, then Black Widow can headshot them and get a one-shot kill, even if she doesn't have that damage boost we mentioned previously. Some other incredibly valuable combination that, if done right, can lead to entire team wipes are, of course, Groot's ultimate or Thing's ultimate combined with Moon Knight or Namor's ultimate. If they're placed in the right way, with for example the center of Namor's ultimate being right on top of the Groot ultimate, then they will be able to one-shot the enemy team even if defensive ultimates or shields are being used. And even if the enemy team does invest a lot of resources into trying to survive it, that won't stop most of them from getting picked, which lets you fight a team fight with a huge man advantage and usually positional advantage, which most of the time will end up ending in your favor thanks to time ticking down and your own ultimates being charged throughout the entire fight. Another really good combination that you can use, especially on the defensive side, it doesn't even include ultimates and can absolutely destroy flankers that jump in your face if you're playing a Snow and Mantis. That's right, even a big chunky flanker such as Venom will have a hard time dealing with this, but it will require some coordination to pull off. If you get Dove as these two heroes and Mantis manages to land asleep, then assuming they don't take damage, then you'll have a small window where you can prepare yourself and a Luna and any potential nearby teammates to coordinate fire. You have a few seconds before they wake up on their own if they don't take any damage, so it helps to do a small countdown. As soon as Mantis and Luna and any potential teammates have done a little bit of damage, it needs to immediately be followed up with a snowball, after which the damage just simply continues. After the snowball hits, there's about half of a second where you can deal additional damage before any damage unfreezes the Venom or the enemy. And if you do this right, there is a big chance that they're going to end up being dead before the freeze is over, especially if you took the extra time to line up headshots and coordinate the fire. And even if they do survive, they'll be in such a bad shape that they'll either have to run away or they're going to end up dying right afterwards. The combination can really only be done if Mantis hits her stun first, because while it sleeps the enemy for a few seconds, there's no damage window as with Luna. It's also a lot easier to hit the slow with Mantis, so it's better that she tries it first. While the divers may or may not expect that combo, they definitely won't expect this next one because it is specifically designed to throw those enemies off guard. On most maps, using an ability out of spawn will be too far away from the action for the enemies to hear that loud ultimate voice line, and if they do, they'll probably assume that it was a fat finger or a mistake and write it off. But what many forget is that almost all, if not all, ultimates in the game can be combined with Doctor Strange's portal with some really great results, but some ultimates, such as Scarlet Witches or the Punishers, have a bit of a wind up to them, along with that really loud voice line that alerts the enemy team of a huge imminent threat. But since the portal doesn't carry sound at all, then you can activate these abilities in spawn and then place a strange portal right next to the enemy team to catch them off guard and absolutely destroy them. Ideally, you want to start the portal right before the ultimate is started to get the most value out of it, but since it doesn't carry sound, activating the ultimate after the portal has been placed works just as fine. But the portal shenanigans don't stop there. For example, if Doctor Strange places his portal in a way where Punisher can set his turret up behind it, and then places the end portal so Punisher has a good view of the enemies, with additional bonus points if the end portal is placed slightly diagonally or above them, as this gives Punisher a higher chance for additional splash damage if he does miss, then Punisher can get a ton of damage off as soon as the portal goes up and before the enemies can get out of the way or behind shields. Additionally, Doctor Strange can combine his portal with heroes such as Thor for some hilarious results. If Thor starts his ultimate and slams through a strange portal that's placed on the ground beneath him with the end portal placed diagonally or even vertically, then he gets launched outwards like a ray gun, dealing devastating damage to any targets that he hits, though it is pretty hard to aim. You can use the same logic with Rocket Raccoon's jump pack. If you use a jump pack through a portal placed above you that has the end portal placed diagonally or horizontally, then all of that upwards momentum gets converted into diagonal or horizontal momentum, which can launch you straight into the enemy team. This is especially useful if you're using certain ultimates that are better if you get close or into unexpected positions or angles, such as Scarlet Witch's ultimate. Since the ability creates upwards momentum, this means that it can be abused with the map geometry as well. By using a jump pack against certain ledges, that vertical momentum gets converted into horizontal instead. These ramps can also be created artificially with 2 diagonal Groot walls that either Groot or a teammate can then take to launch them in the direction of the ramp. The jump pack can be enabled in the middle of a ton of abilities, even active ones. For example, not many know that heroes like Wolverine can yoink an enemy and then activate the jump pack while midair to keep soaring forward, significantly extending the range of their grab and oftentimes making it impossible to get back from. Speaking of Rocket, he's also the only hero that can turn Jeff's jump off the map combo to the next level. At this point in time, most Jeff players choose to yeet themselves off the map to avoid that the enemies that they've swallowed from using movement abilities and cheating death, but that comes at the cost of Jeff himself. To mitigate this, Rocket players can put a BRB anywhere near the ledge that Jeff is about to jump off of, which instantly brings him back to health. And speaking of Jeff, his abilities, especially his ultimate abilities, have a ton of uses. Probably more than the ones I can list in the video, but a few synergies that really stood out to me, especially when it comes to eating enemies, are the ones like the Scarlet Witch combination, where Jeff ults as many of the enemy team as possible and then spits them out into Scarlet Witch's ult right as she is about to explode. Side note, you have about 6 seconds to spit enemies out after swallowing them, and it takes 4 seconds to charge Scarlet Witch's ultimate up, so you can just wait to confirm they've been swallowed before Scarlet Witch ults, and then Jeff can just spit them out into her. And while that one is pretty fun, it could be better, because while you are winning a fight for free, sometimes even getting some enemy ults out of it and winning a lot of time, it also comes at the cost of 2 of your old ultimates while not charging up any others. A better combination that's equally destructive can be combining Jeff with Groot. If Groot builds a small Fortnite-style prison, then Jeff can go into it, spit all of his victims into that prison, and then have Groot close the door, which lets the lashes from the walls deal an insane amount of damage, probably one of the fastest damage bursts in the game, to anyone who is inside of it. This not only blows the enemies up with damage, it forces them to get stuck in an unfavorable position, and lets him and potentially other teammates charge their ultimates up for free. And as you have seen in this video so far and can see later, having a Groot ult is pretty damn valuable in more ways than just one. The inverse of the Jeff Groot combo can be valuable as well. If, for example, if Groot pops an ultimate and the enemy team uses their defensive ultimates and you don't have a way to clean them out with a Namor or Moon Knight, then they'll still be stuck in one place and very easy for Jeff to eat, which can give you enough time for your team to reset, or even for Jeff to hurl the remainder of the enemy team off the map for that free fight win. Moving on with supports, Invisible Woman has a ton of specific ability synergies that really make her teammates shine. She's not just healing and dummy thick, but she can be so much more. Some of my favorite specific ones are putting your shield in front of Punisher's turret, which gives us the Overwatch beta Bastion. She can also keep spamming her shield on teammates using their ultimates and moving up, such as Punisher, Star-Lord, Scarlet Witch, and so much more. And also, one of my favorites, a very underrated one that I don't even think most pros are doing, I just told somebody about it today, is Invisible Woman's Hela counter that she has with Strange. As many know, if Hela ults, Doctor Strange can fly up and block the ultimate with his shield to stop it from doing any big damage, but it comes with one fatal flaw. If he flies up and holds a fully charged shield, Hela will have time for 2 more shots at the tail end of his block because his shield just doesn't have enough health. And that can be enough to secure a kill or deal a lot of damage. However, if Invisible Woman places a barrier in front of Doctor Strange as he is up there, that adds 300 more health, enough to tank another 2 shots, and completely negates the outcoming damage of that ultimate. That's not all though. Invisible Woman is a great hero to have in your corner if you're using any of the annoying displacement heroes such as Wolverine or Winter Soldier. If you're positioned correctly, then you can follow their initial displacements up with a force pull or push, as well as a psionic vortex that slows them down and makes it impossible for them to run back to actually survive. If you want to be really annoying, you could give Wolverine a jump pack, make him yoink a target, jump pack, have Bucky hook and then punch him to an Invisible Woman who force pushes them and then puts that psionic vortex to keep them in place, also known as the assembly line strat. Another great strat, maybe less of a specific ability synergy, but certainly a hero one, is the Mr. Fantastic, The Thing, and Captain America synergy. If you have 2 or maybe all 3 of them, then you have an incredibly strong tempo composition that can keep pushing forward and dash to each other to close the gap, additional shields, or damage reduction whenever necessary. If played right, then they are nearly unkillable and incredibly difficult to deal with. And I just wanted to do a quick aside for that one, since we will cover cool compositions like that over in the Otter Dojo that we mentioned at the start of the video. But anyways, let's continue with another really cool combo that I still don't see that many people do, probably because it is a bit wonky to pull off, and that's the Black Widow and Hawkeye team up. Now, hold on now. Yeah, I know it's a team up, but what's so cool about this one specifically is that it works in unexpected ways. Black Widow's ultimate deals area of effect damage, which also deals individual damage to any enemy after image within range. All of the damage you hit on after images gets combined, then you can get your own ultimate to deal several times worth in damage on a singular target, which can make it a one-shot against any squishies within range. It's really strong against support ultimates, since they don't expect the one-shot and usually are gathered up in the same place. There are a ton more synergies out there, and I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Once you have discovered enough, I will drop a new video, but if you are interested in seeing them as I find them or hear about them, make sure to join us over at the Otter Dojo. Again, link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to get even better at Marvel Rivals, check out the video on the screen, and yeah, peace out.